Hi, this is Dan from Real Mac Software, and today I want to show you two things in Elements that we've been working on recently. Now, the first thing is to do with file duplication, and the second thing is to do with the new Theme Studio. So we're going to look at the file duplication first, and I'm going to open up RapidWeaver Classic. Now, this project here is the Real Mac Software website, so it's the full site here, and it's built with RapidWeaver and Stacks from Yourhead. Now, Stacks is great, but there's some things that it doesn't handle properly. And one of those things is file duplication. It's not very smart when you're using partials. Now, you're probably familiar with partials. And in the Real Mac site, I use it here to do the menu and the styles for the site. So up here, all this is a partial here, all the styling and these graphics. And I use that throughout the site. However, I've got this logo here, and this logo is actually used on every single page. And rather than Stacks just referencing it once, even though it's a partial, it duplicates it for every single page. So when I publish my site and when users view my site online, they're having to download all these graphics again. So between all these pages, none of the graphics are actually shared. Although they look like they are, the browser is having to download them all again. And there's two problems with this. One, it creates large files for you to save on your computer and to back up. And two, it takes a long time to upload the site because there's a lot of duplication. And there's a third problem in that your visitors, when they visit your site, they have to download the same graphics for every page. So there's no caching on that front. So that's the project here. And what I've done is I've exported it into the Finder just to show you the problem with this. So we've got the index files here. So this is for the index page, which I have open here. And the logo, the Real Mac logo is here. And even though I named this Real Mac logo white, Stacks has renamed it to Navbar Pro Logo 8, C28, which means nothing to Google, as we discussed last week. And I can't rename that in Stacks. So it's done that. And then if I hop over to the store page, we can go and look in the Finder, and I go to the store, and then I go to the files, and then, oh, there it is again. So it's the same file, exactly the same file. And this is the same for all the pages in our site. And any of these images that I've used on multiple pages, they're all exported multiple times. You know, there's not just one reference of it. And this is something we really wanted to fix in Elements. So if I open up Elements, I've got the Real Mac site here, same site, and I've imported it. And when we import a site with stack-based pages, we go through and we look for all the images and we compare the IDs and we get all the original file names. So here you can see I've got if I press space, there we are, a little preview. You can see my original logo is there and it's called the correct thing. And what we do is when we export this site, we only use a single copy of the logo, and that will be used throughout all the pages. And this is the same for all the files. And I think, as I touched on last week, best of all, I can rename these things in here, and that gets reused throughout the site, and the name is kept when you export it. Now, I did just have there was a comment on about last week's update saying, oh, why don't you bring these features to Classic? And we can't, because we didn't write the Stacks plugin, that is Yourhead, and they would need to implement these features. We implement these features, we keep the file names the same in RapidWeaver if you're using the built-in pages and you are using the built-in file browser. But a lot of people just drag images into Stacks, and Stacks takes care of it. So that's the kind of change we've done here. Now you have full control and you can see exactly what's in your site, rename it, and you're in, even when you drag in images here, you've got full control. It's really good. Now, just before we move on to the theme browser, I talked about how when you import a site into Rapid Weaver Elements, it will go through and sort these files out for you. And it also does deduping. So for all those duplicate files, we go through and we compare them, and we just get rid of the ones that are all exactly the same. And what that equates to is smaller file sizes. So I've got the Rapid Weaver Classic file here, and if we get info on that, it's a whopping 361 megs. And the exact same site in Rapid Weaver Elements is 136 megs. So it's like a huge saving. And that's, when you're uploading your file and when you're backing these things up and you've got multiple projects, it all makes a difference. Sending it to clients, we're only storing the stuff that's actually needed and there's no duplication in it. So while talking about files and deduplication could be pretty boring, and some of you might not find this interesting, it's a big feature and we wanted to make you aware of it. So that is file deduping, and how your project files in Rapid Weaver Classic will be in Rapid Weaver Elements, will be less than half the size of those in Rapid Weaver Classic. All right, good. With that out of the way, now I want to show you what we've been working on in Rapid Weaver Elements regarding the theme stuff. Okay, let's hop back over to Elements, where I've got a project open. And this is a test project, so I can show off these features, and when we test things in-house, it's good to have a site. So you might remember this from previous videos when it was just a banner. It's a little bit more fleshed out now to show off a few more of the features. So you can see here I've got all my elements, and these are built with native elements, and it's all using Tailwinds, which is a CSS framework. Now, as I hover over these things, I get a little border telling me what they are, and I can obviously drag these things around. Like if I want the text there, I can drag it over to there, and you'll notice these things move in the side as well. Now, you can imagine I'm building this for a client, and he says, yeah, I want my website to be grey. We're very professional. I kind of want it like this. And so I've done all this work, and I've built all these pages, and I've styled it like this. And then you can imagine he says, well, actually, change your plan. We kind of want it a different color. So how would we handle that in Elements? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight the nav bar. I'm actually going to highlight the banner. That's what I want. And you can see here, now these controls aren't finished, but you can see here we've got these little gradients. And this allows us to pick some colors here. Now, all these objects on here are using this color palette. So I can just click through these, and you'll notice on the banner that it's changing as I move around, and it's live. So I'm changing this, and yeah, so I can just do that, and I want it like that. So that's all great, and that's really handy, and that looks cool and everything. But maybe we don't want a gradient going from grey to light grey. So I can go in here and I can pick one of my other colours I've set up. So maybe we want it going from red, and maybe I want the top colour going to green. So now we've got this rather disgusting red to green colour, because that's what the client wanted. And often they don't know what looks good, because they think they know, but they don't really. They should leave it to us professionals that build websites. So we've got this now, but nothing else has updated to use this new gory palette. So how are we going to fix that? Well, I'm going to go back. What I want to do is I want to put these back to grey, because that didn't look good. But if we want to change the entire color palette, this is because all these objects are using the primary color. What I can do is I can open the Theme Studio that we talked about before. Now, the Theme Studio will eventually allow you to customize a lot more things, but today I'm only going to show you the coloring options. So here, this is where you would set up your custom colors. And I've got black, primary, secondary, tertiary, white. And I can easily duplicate these if I want some more colors. I can just click those in, and then we've got a primary copy there. Let's delete that because we don't need it. Now, as I said, all the graphics on here, all the things, is using this primary color palette. And we can click on here, and because this is my color, this is my main color, and if I wanted the palette to be darker, I can just click down the row, and the entire palette, you can notice the whole site starts getting darker. And there we go, it's got lighter, and that's super light there, so it's kind of washed out look. And I can just click through these and change them, and you'll notice this updates as well. So on the fly, it's generating us a new palette here based on the initial color. So this is the color I'm giving it, and then it's saying, okay, so you've given me a color, that blue color at 50, I'll generate a palette up to 900 that's darker. And if I put it at 400, it's going to generate me some lighter colors and some darker colors. Now, yep, I know you're looking at this saying, yeah, that's great, but that's all gray. What if you wanted to change the color of the site completely? Well, you could change all of these to a secondary color. You know, I could go through and change all these things, or I could just click on this and bring up a color palette. And in here, we could say, well, the client said, well, actually, I wanted a pink site, you know, so we could just, boom, we could just bring it over here. And now it's pink. And it's, well, actually, I want it a little bit more bluey, purpley, and now a bit more blue. And actually, I want it lighter and green. And yeah, let's make it green. Maybe we'll go yellow. Yeah, I kind of like this look. And yeah, and you can change the entire look of a site just by moving this color palette. And this is incredibly powerful. If you set things up in the right way, what you'll notice is this is all changed. Look how there's no refreshes there. Look how quick the page isn't refreshing. You're not seeing that kind of flickering. It's just, look how smooth that is. Everything is just changing in real time. I don't think, I've never seen any other app built like this that has this kind of power, that what it's doing under the hood here. We think this is really big, you know, this is quite thrilling to be able to change websites, you know, the whole look of it just by moving this palette right from you've got a light grey site there and right over to a deep blue site, and you can make it even darker by doing this, you know, or going light like this. And you can mix these up and have as many color palettes as you want. So if you've got different pages for different, and it makes it so easy. Yeah, we think this is absolutely going to be mind-blowing for users creating sites this way. And there's a lot more to the Theme Studio coming, but we're not ready to show off that stuff yet. So this was a little glimpse at some of the really great stuff we've been working on. So I hope this really has blown your mind, because I've never seen anything like it before. And yeah, so I hope you like this week's update. And if you have any questions about this, how it works or how it might work, do let us know. And do remember, this is all in flux, so we're still building this. The UI is not final, but you can see it's working, and you can see the power and the possibilities of this, and how it is, and how it's just, you know, truly groundbreaking, really. You can see this, I'm here in the preview, and everything's updated, all the rollovers. It's really, really mind-blowing. All right, I'm going to finish it up there for today. I hope you have a great weekend, and we will be back next week with another update. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.